Hello everyone. In this video we're going to explain how to read graphs. The first thing you need to notice is that every graph, we have a two-dimensional graph. We have two axes, the x-axis and the y-axis. Now we have numbers on the x-axis and the label shows that this is the marketing cost in this example, and we have numbers on the y-axis, and in this case it is labeled as a profit. Now, what does it mean to have 10,000s over here in the label and 10,000s over here in the profits label? This means only one thing. Now, here we have 2. This means that this is actually $20,000. Instead of writing it 20,000 and 40,000 and 60,000, it becomes so crowded. They will just write the number 2, the number 4, and offload all trailing zeros into the label. So if I want to read this number, which is 10, I will multiply 10 by 10,000, and I know that this is $100,000. Again, over here 100, if I want to read it correctly, this is 100 multiplied by 10,000, which is $1 million. Again, if I want to read any point which is, the numbers, not all numbers are written. There are some, let's say, points over here that are not having any value. This is just like any ruler. So if you have 0 here and 50 here, then the one in the middle should be 25. Again, 25, if read correctly, this is 25 multiplied by 10,000, and this is $250,000. So we could have another example. The one over here. What is the number over here? This number is in the middle between 4 and 6. So this should be 5. So 5 multiplied by 10,000, this is $50,000. So let's go now for an example of reading the graph. Any graph is a relation between, in two dimensions of course, it's a relation between two parameters. In this case, it's the relation between marketing and profit. So if I want to read any point over here, I could just, for example, let's say this point. Okay, this point is almost 2 and on the x-axis, and between 50 and 100 on the y-axis, which should be 75. So this point corresponds to 2 times 10,000, that's $20,000 in cost, marketing cost, and 75 multiplied by 10, this is $750,000 in profit. Now we come to this question. The question says, use the graph to estimate marketing costs when the profit is $1,250,000. So they are talking about the profit. They have given us the profit. What we need to find is the marketing cost. So the profit is the y-axis. I need to go to the value, which is $1,250,000. So where is 1 million? 1 million means this is 100, because 100 multiplied by 10,000 is 1 million. And we know that each square corresponds to 25 or $250,000. So the $1,250,000 is this point. Now if I move on to the graph, this touches the graph at this point. So what does this point correspond to on the x-axis? So I need to go down to see where does it correspond on the x-axis. Voila! So it corresponds to the 5. Or, in other words, 5 multiplied by 10,000, that's $50,000 in cost. So, as an estimation, a profit of $1,250,000 would give us a cost of $50,000 in marketing. Okay, so we have found it. This is not very accurate, but this is an estimation. If we plug in the values, the value of $1,250,000 in f of x and try to solve for x, we will find that this is a bit more than that, maybe. Let's see. So they have plugged the values, and with some calculations, okay, so they found it to be exactly the same. Good, excellent. So it's exactly the same value, which is $50,000. But then if I can plug the values into the equation, why do I need to read it from the graph? Bear in mind that not every graphical representation has a readily available equation. So bear that in mind. So in many cases, you will be able to find a graph, but with no equation. And so we try to find solutions and values from the graph itself. We estimate it because sometimes the graph is not very easy to, like using the graph, it's not very easy to find accurate results. And that's why we call it estimation.